Again, here showing off my updated Saberforge Phoenix. There you go. You can see I replaced the I had thumb screws here and here before. I replaced them with I think I want to call them greeblies, but they're screws that are holding the aluminum thing in place, and I put them on both sides, so now there's a little more symmetry to it. I messed up my Prism V4 board, and so you know, what I wanted didn't really require a Prism, so I replaced it with a Nano Biscotti. I still have the RGB LED, and I'm using the red as a flash on clash, and because I just love Arctic blue and I love the way it looks. I've also weathered it a ton, and for that I used sandpaper, a fine grit sandpaper, some steel wool, and sanded it some more. But I really like how it just looks worn, and that's exactly what I was going for. I did it all along here. I'm still trying to figure out what to do with the pommel, if I want to weather it there at all. Like I said, this is running a Nano Biscotti V3. I already had the two buttons in here. I've already glued them in, so I was like, I don't want to take it off. But people always have a hard time figuring out, even if I have a dummy switch in here, people have a hard time figuring out what button turns it on. So I just made it both. They don't light up because I just didn't want to drain the battery. And then I have a Saberforge blade plug. Um, but yeah, so I have a Nano Biscotti V3, Arctic blue with a red flash on clash. This is my first time doing flash on clash on a Nano Biscotti, and it was awesome. Thank you, Shamim and Jordan Moll, for the advice you guys gave me on if I'm able to wire it up that way, and it worked out perfectly. On here I have Shamim's Graphlix HD from The Force Awakens. It's, like I said, it's my favorite font, my favorite generic lightsaber font. It's got a ton of bass. It's loud. It's deep. I love it. I have a 3D printed chassis from Jedi Jordan's Creations, Jedi Jordan's Custom Lightsaber Creations, something like that. He's awesome. Ships fast. The chassis are really innovative. Like, it's got a spot for the speaker. It on here it's perfect because the thumb screws go through all the way through, and his chassis, the all-in-one Prism chassis, has these little slots for the wires, and so these screws it slides into place like a little drawer, so there's like nothing rattling in there because it slides perfectly. It doesn't shift. It just slides into there. But without further ado, let me turn it on. It's really loud. It's a custom Saber Shop deep Veco bass speaker. But like I said, I got the Arctic blue, and I love the blue. I love the way it shows up on camera. It looks different, obviously, but see the red flash on cars. And like it shows off the red flash on clash so cool on my face, and that was like my main thing I wanted the Prism V4 for. I didn't care about the more than 8 swings and clashes, whatever. I duplicated 8 of the ones that I really liked. I killed some of the ones that Shamim had on here, but and then the blaster bolt deflect was cool, and the lockup, but honestly, for $60 is what the Nano Biscotti cost, and it's smaller, so it's easier to fit in these hilts. I'm still a novice at installing, so I've just found that it's not worth the trouble for the upgrades that I get when all I really want is Arctic blue with a red flash on clash, and I'm extremely happy. You can tell that I kind of dinged here. I scraped it up while I was drilling the holes for these, because when I got it from Saberforge, these were a little loose. This retention screw for mine, I don't know if all of them were like that. For mine, it was still loose where I could feel it rattle when I would hit it. And now that's not the case anymore. And these are really cool, like Greeblies accent screws that looks like it belongs with the hilt. So I really like it. Thanks, Shamim. Thanks, Saberforge, for that flash sale. I wouldn't have been able to do this without it. I actually sold my ASP to fund this one and the electronics install, and this is like my favorite hilt right now. I love the Exalted, I love the thin necks, but I'm just always too nervous about it, especially when I'm paying this much for it. I don't want it to break. I want to bash it. I just want to bash it, and I'm able to do this with confidence with this. And I love the fat pommel. Oops. I love the fat pommel because it's a perfect counterweight to the swings and the balance of the saber. And I actually weathered the screws to the point where the bottom one is kind of copper now. I think like I rubbed off the finish, but I really like it. This is gonna be my Jedi cosplay hilt going forward. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for a couple more videos. I bought a couple more Saberforge flash sale sabers, so keep an eye out for those if you're interested. And